So the question is from Mr. Aravind Gupta. What is the life of overload safety devices?
Okay, I could see the question. Probably I will help you in also reading the question.
Yes, sir.
Life of overload safety devices. Normally, the life of an electrical installation, if the temperature rise is limited to less than, for example, in a wire 70 degrees, then PVC insulated wire is about 20 years. But safety device, normally 20 is the minimum, and an average probably 30. If it is maintained very well, it can even go to probably 40 years. More than or up to 40 years is easily possible. For example, the verification in the sense, the testing of the installation, what is recommended in Europe, say for example, Belgium, in residential application, they are asking for a re-verification or retesting once in 25 years. So once in 25 years, it's an indication that if you make an initial verification perfect, then the life of the installation is at least 25 years. So on an average, let's say 25 to 30 years is the life. The second question, what should be used for an AC if voltage stabilizer doesn't help to reduce fire hazard? You see, nowadays, earlier days, the voltage fluctuations were quite high. But nowadays, with the arrival of modern air conditioners or inverter air conditioners, they are actually able to handle a wide range of voltage. So nowadays, actually, you don't need a voltage stabilizer, but the shopkeeper often sell because it's an additional item for them. I would recommend. I also saw that some of the air conditioner manufacturers are nowadays recommending not to use a stabilizer, so you can connect it directly to the AC line. So you don't need to use it. Is there any guideline? A question from Mr. Aravind Gupta. Is there any guidance of IS code for replacement of old safety device? Actually, there is no guidance in that way, but there is a guidance of retesting, because once when you test it frequently, then you will understand whether the system is in working condition or not. Based on that, you have to replace. If the systems are in working condition, probably you don't need to replace. So, somebody, Mr. Harsh Sharma, is asking for a certificate. Actually, Mr. Sharma, this certificate, participating in an hour presentation may not help you in improving the knowledge. This can only taken as an informative session. You got some information. So getting the certificate may not be of importance. You have to then participate in a long-term technical class. So there is a question from Mr. Abdul Azim from Hyderabad. Okay, he is asking for the presentation slides. Mr. Azim, we will be uploading the videos of the presentation in the website. Once when it is uploaded, you will get a email. Please look at the video. Presentation slides we cannot circulate because we are preparing each program, 1 hour program. Behind this program, we are spending at least a day for preparation. So you have to look at the video. The earth conductor of TNS should be insulated. Question from Mr. Amritlal. No, it can be the functional earthing must be insulated. So your question, earth conductor. Please note that earth conductor or earthing conductor means the conductor from the earth bus bar to the earth electrode or some kind of buried metal part. That conductor must not be insulated. Otherwise, a protective conductor can be insulated. It depends on the situation. Functional earthing must be insulated. So earthing conductor need not be insulated. It has to be a bare conductor. The frequency of electrical audit, Mr. Mahesh is asking, Mr. Pandurang, Mahesh Pandurang, you have to refer to the part 1, section 17 of IS, the National Electrical Code. There is a table provided. I think it is annexer D or E. Please look at the annexer D or E. Depending upon the type of the building, the electrical, the verification, re-verification frequency is recommended. Mr. Iman Maulavi, ESE vendors are now using Karnataka High Court judgment saying NBC has accepted their claim. Can you please explain what was the result of the judgment? Oh, this is actually wrong. NBC, you see, not only in India, worldwide, standards are recommendation. Standards are not a mandatory rule. A standard is made as a mandatory rule by the appropriate authority. That means there are two ways. One is the appropriate authority. For example, the municipality or the state government or government of India. If they say that every building in India must be as per National Building Code, then it becomes a mandatory rule. This is provision number 1. Part number 2 is if NBC is referred in any agreement. Let's say, for example, you are constructing a building, and in the building agreement, somewhere you have mentioned the design, the architect while designing the while publishing the tender, he must have written, the concrete has to be as per NBC, the structure has to be as per NBC, and this has to be as per NBC, that has to be as per NBC. If NBC is referred in these agreements, then it is like a rule. It is mandatory. So if your document doesn't contain anything about NBC, if you are not at all referring your building to NBC, then it is actually not a mandatory. But if you are referring somewhere in your document as NBC has to be followed, then all the rules are mandatory. So basically, Bureau of Indian Standards gave a reply to the notice saying that NBC is not the authority. It is a voluntary document, so it has to be decided by the authority or the people, those who are making the agreements. So that is the correct way. So the court has rejected the complaint. The court has dismissed the petition. Petition was filed by the ESE vendor. So they are actually, it is dismissed. Their claims are not even accepted by the court. So that is what has happened. It is not that BIS accepted that NBC is voluntary. By rule, all standards and code of practices are voluntary. It becomes a mandatory once when you include it in any rule or once when you include it in any agreement. So the next question from Mr. Sitarama, will there be any problem of multiple LT power supply used in small and medium? Yes, multiple LT supplies sometimes is a problem, because if you are completely isolating one building or one portion of the installation, only one supply, then it is often good. But most often what happens is, after a few years of operation, one room itself will have sometimes 2 supplies, which is really dangerous. So please don't do it. It can be hazardous. The next question from Mr. Rishabh Rathore. The fire started from AC in Vijay Vallabha Hospital in Virar outside Bombay, which killed 15, and the Ayush Hospital in Surat, which killed 3. The air conditioner has been for 24 hours in both incidents. So thanks for the information, Mr. Rishabh. Yes, of course, not only these 2 accidents, a lot of accidents are happening due to air conditioner. But the next time, once when you buy an air conditioner, please ensure that it is ISI marked and additionally tested for the IS 302. Then you get a good quality. Of course, it will be a little bit expensive in comparison. So there is a question from Mr. Prasad Rao Swami. Fire survival cable misconception is because of manufacturer's advertisement. Some a regulator can impose censor certificate for advertisement. Unfortunately, this is not possible because in all our advertisements, this is how the market works. I have no comment on that question. So I skip a few of the questions which is not related to our subject. Today, Mr. Dominic is not present in India, so he is a little bit out. That is why I am handling both the things. Mr. Ramakant Sharma, for large hospital, where what are arc flash protection device and the insulation resistance protection? Mr. Ramakant, the arc flash protection, as I said, these what is recommended in the books are the 18 inspection and 10 testings. And over and above, you can go for arc flash. Of course, we will try to make a webinar on arc flash probably in the next occasion. Mr. Riaz Ahmad, could you please put some light on Federation of Engineers for Electrical Safety? Of course, Mr. Riaz, we will do it on 26th of this month. That is on Thursday evening 4 o'clock. Please join us. We will explain you what exactly we are looking for. Mr. Subhash Mishra is asking what is the average life of chemical earthing. Mr. Subhash, the chemical earthing itself is wrong. So we don't need to talk about its life. Is NEC mandatory in case of violation? What will be the action taken by and by whom? Question by Mr. Imran Maulavi. Mr. Imran, you must understand that the regulation, that means the safety regulations of Government of India, which is called as the CEA, Central Electricity Authority, measures relating to safety and electric supply. An amendment is going on. The new regulation, regulation 14, sub-regulation 2, what it says is, any subjects which is not included in the regulation, you must refer to National Electrical Code of India, or it shall be, National Electrical Code of India shall be followed for anything which is not included in the regulation. Now, the regulation talks mainly about generation, distribution, and generation, transmission, and distribution. Of course, something is also included as in an installation. For example, the new regulation 38 includes safety requirements in a high-rise building. So there it's very clearly written that every building more than 15 meters height must be designed, erected, and tested as per National Building Code of India. That means it becomes a mandatory requirement. It also has written hospitals and medical locations must follow NEC irrespective of height. So this becomes again hospitals, you must follow NEC. So with the regulation, the NEC has become mandatory. Now, who is responsible for taking the case in case of an who will take the action? Of course, this is by the electrical inspectorate or the respective government authority, maybe police or whatever. Then the punishment. There is a new Electricity Act coming up, not the new, but some amendment is going on where the violation will be penalized for up to 1 crore rupees, and I think some imprisonment. So the things are changing. Users should be a little bit careful now. So to simplify the answer, yes, NEC is mandatory now. The earlier regulation also included mandatory, but instead of using the word shall, it has used the word may. So because of may, the word may, people were not really following it. So is there the next question from Mr. Kumaravel? Is there any periodic specific protocol for checking electrical safety of the critical care medical equipment like multi-parameter monitor, defibrillator, etc.? Yes, Mr. Kumaravel, last time we discussed about a standard. I don't remember the number. I think it is IEC 62373 or something like that. The requirement of testing and retesting is also included in the standard. I'm sorry, I don't remember it exactly now. Amaya, do you have any information on that? You can unmute and answer.
Yes. So, like not only the critical medical equipments, but every equipment has to be tested. A biomedical engineer in a hospital, they'll do the preventive maintenance periodically. And apart from that, if the medical equipment is repaired or in a serviced after service condition, it has to be tested before it is given back to the desired location for reusing. So lots of procedures are there that it has to be tested before giving, and it has to be tested after giving, and also whether they have to know whether it is working properly or not. So the standard, I'll just check it once again, and I'll just post it on the Q&A session itself, that answer.
Okay.
The standard.
Yeah. Thank you. So, a question from Mr. Ali Akbar: do you recommend the French standard LPS for hospital or conventional NFPA standard LPS for hospital? Mr. Ali Akbar, please note that the NFPA is not Indian. NFPA is for American people. So, NFPA, National Fire Protection Association, they don't recommend any non-standard products. They also recommend as per the Indian standard IS IEC 62305 or the National Electrical Code. So I don't recommend lightning protection as per the French standard, but sometimes people are fascinated, attracted towards this story by the manufacturer. And if you are attracted towards the story, please read the standard and do it properly. Don't go taken away by the story of the manufacturer. That is the point. I never recommend this non-standard lightning protection. So the next question, Mr. Pandurang, Mahesh Pandurang, in the construction project, what is the minimum electrical safety requirement which we need to implement? Mr. Mahesh, there is a new standard which is under preparation. It is under publication. Probably within a month, it may be coming out. The safety requirements in constructional subjects are also included. Construction projects are included in that. I don't remember those things exactly because I have to refer to the books and answer you. So better, probably we can make one exclusive session for this. There's a question from Mr. Chanchal Banerjee. Should we use a separate fire extinguisher for each room in the critical areas of hospital to combat electrical fire in AC? If yes, what type of fire extinguisher we should use? Actually, I'm sorry, I'm not an expert from fire. Our expert, Mr. Dominic, is not there. Probably he should have answered this question. I'm not the expert. Of course, you should not use the fire extinguisher, which is having kind of dust and all. For electrical, you should use, I think, carbon dioxide or something related, the extinguisher with carbon dioxide. So more than that, I'm not an expert to answer. So there is a question from Mr. Dr. S.P. Anchuri. There was a major fire accident in Hyderabad, very nearer to big hospital where chemicals were illegally stored. Fire went in for 8 hours. A lot of deadly smoke was there. Initially, they said it is due to short circuit, but when investigated, the cause was different. Low-rise buildings also most come under NOC. Your comment on height of the building 15 meters to decide the fire protection system? No, my comment on 15 meter is the requirement from the upcoming electrical safety regulation. Every building more than 15 meter must follow NEC, but for hospitals, it has to be carried out irrespective of height. The question again, why AC is more prone in comparison to other electrical equipment? You see here, as I said, until now, the testings were not mandatory. So manufacturers mostly they were trying to minimize the safety requirements, and they were trying to improve the features, like a lot of features which can be advertised. So the importance of safety was quite less, but now once when BIS made it mandatory, now they have to change. Probably the cost also goes up. So the next question from Mr. Amritlal, TNS supply is recommended for EMC when earth conductor is bare, it tends to get bypass path. Not exactly. I don't exactly got the question, but anyway, we will just look on to some of the participants also raised the hand. Let me allow them. So, Mr. Ravi Kumar, you have raised your hand, and if you are interested to talk, then you can unmute yourself and you can talk. Also, Mr. Dheeraj Ullal, if you are interested to talk, you can unmute yourself.
Nothing specific at the moment.
Okay, thank you. So there is one moment. There is a question from Mr. Parekh. What US standard limit for temperature monitoring while using thermal imaging camera in any electrical panel? I really don't know. This is not my subject. So he's asking, Mr. Dheeraj Parekh is asking what is the thermal limit for the heat from an electrical appliance. Normally it is more than 70 degrees, it can deteriorate the plastic parts for a continuous, not for a short time. So Mr. Dr. Anchari is asking EV chargers in the cellars, any guidelines? Yes, of course, there is a regulation by Central Electricity Authority. Please have a look at the regulation. Also, there are a few standards came up in this direction about electric charging stations. Please have a look. I am not 100% sure about the requirements. So there are several questions, and most of the questions are, like regular questions which we answer, like what kind of earthing, chemical earth, and all those things. So I think it's not, a wise decision to answer those questions because most of the questions are not correct. Somebody is also asking about the insulation monitoring device in medical location make manufacturer. Yes, of course, we are making Cape Electric. We are also making the medical isolation system. We have installed in several places. But as you are aware, during our programs are not for promoting a product. So we don't answer generally this question. But for your information, yes, we are doing. Appavu sir, you can unmute yourself and have your comment, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Gopalji. It's a very nice session.
Good morning, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
It's a very nice session. Again, you have clarified most of the things. I would also like to say a few things about this. First of all, that I think people have raised some standards for PS for medical equipment. I would like to say that it is 13450. It's 13450, which stipulates the and another standard 60601. Both are applicable for medical electrical equipment. And another thing regarding AC fires, there are some conflicts, as Gopaji stated. There are some conflicts among the standards that has to be addressed. For example, we have protection against overload, short circuit, and earth fault. Of course, earth fault is weaker in TT system, I'm sorry, in TN system and TT system, because of confusion of people in making a correct method of connection, making it TT or TN. So, of course, we have complete protection for, let us assume that we are having complete protection for overload and short circuit as well as earth fault. But the thing is, every equipment should also be protected to certain natural what do you say, hazards in the electrical system. For example, temporary over voltage and impulse withstand. Another thing, high voltage withstand. I think IS 302 specifies correctly the power frequency high voltage withstand test. Actually, this test should be applied between phase and earth. But temporary over voltage is the quality of the equipment which has to withstand certain voltage higher than the nominal voltage. That is, that means the voltage should be applied between phase and the neutral. The 230 volt equipment can't withstand 1000 volt for 1 minute. That 1 minute is for high voltage withstand, and temporary over voltage is for a few seconds, say 2 seconds. But I think even in that case, 1000 volt is very exorbitant. So we have to address the IS accordingly. Of course, temporary over voltage is a phenomenon because of poor earthing system. In lightning earth protection also, there is a mention depending upon the earthing system, the temporary over voltage factor. It depends upon the earthing system as well as the duration of clearance of fault. So we have to incorporate such other things in the IS for
Air conditioner standard. Correct, sir.
Yes.
Right.
Another thing, in the TNS earthing system, we are propagating. GOPA is taking much strain across the country to propagate the effectiveness and the usefulness of TNS. Unfortunately, the thing happening in our system is it is not a standalone thing for especially for LT and domestic premises, where the supplier's earthing configuration is not known to the consumer. So that's why adding to the fuel, to the fire, the static meters will not read if you provide a wrong earth connection. So these are the things that people are hesitant in connecting their protective earthing conductor to the neutral terminal, that is PME of the supplier. So there are several things that we have to take into account, and we have to have a separate discussion for that. Another thing, low frequency and high frequency noise voltage mitigation. That's an important area. As Gopaji advised, in the medical equipment might have a very good standard of protection and installation, but there is some missing things addressing the EMI interference. People do not mitigate the EMI interference. As he said, segregation and separation, screening of cable. But low frequency require a very good solid earth connection. So these points should also be dealt with separately for a better understanding on a case-to-case basis in general. That's all my observations, Mr. Gopaji. And I hope that NFE, National Federation of Electrical Engineers for Safety, will bring in more enthusiasm and coordination as well as awareness among the people, like-minded people across this country. I wish all the success for this society to be.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Mr. Ravindra Govande, you have raised your hand. You would like to speak, or you can unmute yourself. So if there is no other questions, of course, there are a few questions. Hello? Which, yes, hello? Please.
Yeah, I'm Ravi Govande here. Regarding
yes,
this
please.
insulation monitoring devices only, most of the electrical inspectors in Maharashtra, they are insisting that you provide this device in ICUs and all those areas. Hello?
Okay.
But we found that it is not available, or basically it was issue of make and reliability.
Okay.
Can you elaborate on this?
But this product is available. But it is not only the insulation monitor as a standalone device. You need to also follow the other rules. You need to have a transformer where the leakage currents are very much limited. Then the capacity should be limited to certain size. It is not like you can use a very large system. You have the limited size should be used. Then it has to be within certain distance from the operation theater. There are several rules. One of the requirement is insulation monitoring device. The simplest, you see, few decades back, once when these electronic things were not common, insulation monitors were even made with a simple bulb. So there are several techniques, but nowadays a lot of companies have insulation monitor as a standalone device. But as I said, we are making, but what we are making is not the insulation monitor. We are making it as a complete solution. So like a let's say like a panel, you can buy and install it. So these are available.
Yeah,
So
but
thank
the
you very much
problem,
for the comment.
yes, but problem with the electrical inspectors was that they were not aware of the proper type of the system to be provided. They were just insisting on all the hospitals. You have to do it. You have to do it. That's it. That was the actually issue basically. No proper
Okay.
technical specs or what exactly. In fact, one of the electrical contractor asked me whether I can provide it in the main income.
Oh. Oh, that is wrong. That is wrong. It
So
has to be
I
within
know it
the.
is totally wrong, but this was what was happening in many rural areas, particularly. See, in Bombay or Pune, main cities, lot of technical expertise is available, but particularly in the rural areas, many of the contractors are not even aware of what is exactly to be done. That was the big issue we faced that time.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
thanks a lot.
Yes,
I
we will
the details.
find out. We will find out a solution. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, you have.
So we are also conducting classes for electrical inspectorate. 3 months back, we conducted 4 days class for electrical inspectorate in Maharashtra. So we will try to include this as well in the next session. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot.
We have yes, Mr. Sanjeeva Pereira. You have raised your hand and probably.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Good afternoon. I'm Janaka Kalamut from Sri Lanka. That I just want to say that in the hospital, the HVAC equipment or other load could be installed without the proper feasibility study. Main panel, there could be load, and more than that load, there could be installed in the hospital. HVAC equipment or other load. So it's in the main panel. There's a capacitor bank that could be. So due to the power factor adjustment for the bill saving or the purpose, could be that capacitor bank fire up due to more load or something like that. So there could be a danger in the capacitor bank side, maybe fire up, whole panel fire up, something like that. I just want to say that. Understand what I'm saying?
Actually, Mr. Janaga, your voice is not clear and it was breaking in between.
Yeah.
As a result,
can you hear that now? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. That in the hospital, HVAC equipment or other load, maybe some other load could sometimes could install without proper feasibility study. But their requirement, suddenly they could install. So that not carry with the main load. So that period, that time in the main panel, in the capacitor bank, could be fire up. So I had one experience that I'm saying capacitor bank not carry with the actual load. That capacitor bank could be break up, and that could be a very danger in the panel. They fire up or something like that.
Okay. I understood. The point is there is an incident where the fire started from the capacitor panel and the capacitor has broken or exploded and start the fire. Am I correct? Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for the comment. Yes, of course. Capacitor failures and you see once when these MPP capacitor, metallized polypropylene film capacitors, were introduced about probably 15 years back, because of its economical cost, people started using it, but later the market understood that the failure rate is also very high. But now there are good quality solutions available with the manufacturers. they learned from the failure lessons, and a lot of new things are available now. So with this, we will stop the presentation. Actually, I have a flight to catch from Coimbatore at 3 o'clock. I have to now rush to the airport. Thank you very much. Thanks to all the participants. Over to you, Ms. Lakshmi.
Yes, sir. I thank Mr. Dominic for giving me the opportunity to give vote of thanks. Thanks to Dr. Vijay Agarwal for the opening remarks. Thank you, Mr. Gopakumar, for sharing your knowledge of electrical safety. Thank you, Ms. Amia Shaji, for being a part of Q&A session. I would like to express my gratitude to all the participants for the presence and contribution to make this webinar a grand success. Hope to meet you all soon at the NFV launch on January 26th at 4 p.m. Thank you all once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
You can stop.
Yes.